Hi, my name is Mia, and welcome back to the YAP section, the place where we talk about pop culture, music, and fashion. I got a text. It says that today we are talking about Love Island and what it means for modern dating and love. This season has been crazy amounts of drama, from the Huda and Jeremiah crash out to Jeremiah getting voted off the island to the latest Taylor and Clark recoupling, which, if you saw that, my Alandria people, we're standing strong. They're coming back. I believe it. I'm Delulu and should be locked in a padded room, but I believe in it. I want to talk about some of the individual people and how I see them as bigger representations of things going on within the dating world. First off, I want to start off with everyone's favorite little princess, Amaya Papaya. Amaya has been everyone's favorite because she came into that villa authentic. She's one of the only people that people can tell are not chasing clout and is actually looking for love. And because she came in so authentically, I kind of feel like she was punished by the people around her who are trying to play this game of love instead of just find love. And that's why she had so much trouble making a connection with people in the beginning. It started off with Ace, who, hot take, I think he was using her as a jealousy tactic for Shelly. I don't think he ever wanted Amaya. I think he just picked her so that Shelly would think that she's chasing him instead of vice versa, except it didn't work. And Amaya and him had that big blowout fight where she was like, why did you even pick me if you don't want any sort of romantic connection between us? And the answer was, Ace is playing a game. Ace isn't there for love. Then she went on to Austin, who had been complaining, I don't want to be in a love triangle anymore. Finally found someone who was all about him. And Amaya even communicated. She was like, hey, is there anything that I'm doing that's making you uncomfortable? And he's like, no, everything's fine. Turned around and then went to his homeboys and said, no, is it me? Am I crazy? She's doing too much. She's doing too much. You know what's doing too much? Not just telling that to Amaya directly when she asked you to your face. And it's this weird, bad communication thing that I feel like we're starting to see a lot of in the actual dating world, of people talking to their friends or talking to a secondary party instead of talking to the person that you're actually should be talking to, the person that you're in a couple or a partner, a situationship, anything else like that with. Then we have good old Taylor, who needs to get the hell off my island. Taylor has a similar situation where instead of telling Alandria that maybe the connection wasn't feeling as strong as she thought it was, he led her on. He strung her along. Even Ariana Madix was like, this man is breadcrumbing her. He's giving her the tiniest bits of attention, and she's so stuck in this fantasy of, I want this cowboy. Like, girl, let it go. Let it go. He don't even look like a cowboy. The only thing that looks like a cowboy about him is these hats he keeps wearing. He got no kind of cowboy built. He's skinny and scrawny. Let him go. She should have taken Jalen when she had the chance, and she just didn't. But we saw him repeatedly, he was to her, he was saying, I'm a slow burner, I'm this, that, and the third. And then was laying up on Clark 2 days into their relationship. I smell a rat and a liar. It kind of smells like Taylor. And instead of just being honest, we all knew that he was going to pick Clark, but instead of telling that to Alandria, instead, he decided to just string her along, being like, I don't know what option I'm going to make. Our connection is so strong. You've said so many times over the course of the season, you're not even attracted to her, which I think you need your eyes checked, maybe taken out of your head because she's gorgeous, but my opinion. Alandria, let that man go and move on. And it's such a shame that it's at this point that she's coming to the realization that Taylor isn't into her, because she doesn't have a lot of options left because the guys are getting so possessive over their girls and vice versa. She can't even really pursue something with Nick as much as we would want unless Sierra leaves the island in some capacity. And there's a lot of other people to get voted out. Taylor and Austin, I'm looking at you, before she has to go. So she's kind of stuck in this situation where her only other option right now is maybe the Casa Amor boys. I could maybe see her with Chris. He seems tall and kind and great. They just haven't really spoken that much, so I don't know if they would have a connection or not. I don't want her with Elan. That's like a bootleg Nick. If we wanted Nick Alandria, give us Nick Alandria. Don't give us the bootleg Nick Alandria. Cut the cameras real quick. Just let that go. So honestly, it might be controversial to take her time to go off the island. Her partner might not even be in the villa, or he is in the villa, but he's in another couple, unfortunately. It's just not going to work out for her, I think, on Love Island, unless we have a bombshell come in, but we're pretty late into the season. We also need movie night expeditiously because all these girls are two-faced, all of them. They're all like, it's Sister Island, it's Friendship Island. Y'all call each other not girls, bitches behind bags, talking shit, like, do any of you like each other? Do any of you like each other? Be for real, because I would never do any of my friends like this. And obviously it's a complicated situation where you're all dating each other's friends, but at the end of the day, you know, you gotta pick. Are you there for love as the priority, or are you there for girlhood and friendship as the priority? And you clearly all kind of have some cross interest in each other's men, and that's okay, only in this context. The other thing that I want to talk about is Nick and Sierra, and this is happening with a lot of couples where they refuse to be closed off. They keep saying, you know, we have this really strong connection, X, Y, and Z, but they all kind of seem like they're waiting for the next best thing to come along instead of just focusing on what they have in front of them. And there was a really sad conversation between Nick and Sierra where she essentially was asking him to close things off, and he's like, well, you're the person I can envision everything about living outside the villa right now. However, you know, I don't want to close off yet in case someone else better comes along. He didn't say it like that, but it was in the subtext. It's in the subtext. So I feel like we see this a lot, especially in the context of dating apps in the real world. It's that idea that nobody wants to close off or actually focus on one connection when you have so many of these great, beautiful, funny, interesting options in front of you. And because of this, no one ends up with these serious relationships, but rather these shallower connections. And like I said in the beginning, when you are looking for something that's direct, kind of more serious, like Amaya was in the beginning, you're almost essentially punished for it. You're told you're being too much or too much too fast, instead of just being normal and dating and maybe not wanting to date a whole bunch of people at once. But that's kind of become the normal, especially for Gen Z, maybe like older or younger millennials. And so I think it needs to be taken into evaluation how we consider dating in this modern scape when you do have so many options. You know, you have the sure thing of 5 girls in front of you, but, you know, at the end of the day, unless you want to be polyamorous, I'm not hating on that, you can't have all 5 of them. You got to pick one. You got to pick one, especially if you want that deeper soul level connection. A relationship takes so much of yourself and another person and your heart and your soul, and trying to give that to 5 people at once, you're going to end up with a watered down version of what you could have. And yes, love and romance is built off of initial attraction, initial connection, but I think the part that people always forget about is that you also have to build upon that. You have to put in the work to a relationship to make it work. It's not like, oh, yay, our connection is so great and now we're gonna live happily ever after. No, it's life. Hard shit comes up. You're gonna have to make hard decisions together, apart, either one. You're gonna have days where you're not at your best. You're gonna have days where your partner's not at your best. And when those days come, is your connection strong enough to handle just the surface level stuff, or is it able to handle when you aren't feeling your best and you're really going through a tough time and you need that support and you need someone who knows you and is able to support you in the way that's best for you, not for you and 4 other girls. So overall, I think this season of Love Island, I'm very interested to see how it plays out. They are losing the public a little bit. They're losing me a little bit because everyone just seems so inauthentic, except for a select few for their reasons for being there. You guys want to explore? What did Shelly say? She said he think he Dora the Explorer or some shit. It's time to wrap up the journey. Even Dora's journeys end. Collect the stars and sing your little, we did it, hooray, and just continue with the connections that you have. Show America y'all are there for love, not for clout, please. And we'll see who gets booted off the island next. It's either Taylor, Clark, I don't think they'll kick Alandria off. It's either Taylor, Clark, or Austin needs to get out. expeditiously. So it's very clear at this point that the only viable winners are Amaya and Zach. And I feel like the takeaway from this whole train wreck sociological experiment of a season is be true to yourself, and your person is going to come along eventually. And you will be rewarded for that, because Amaya is the only one who deserves that 100K in that villa at all. Chelly not touching it, Ace not touching it, nobody else is touching it. It's very clear who the winners are already, even if they drag this out for another week or so. Thanks for joining us at the YAP section, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.